Hey guys, Rad here, and I'm in Dubai for Huawei's global launch of their new foldable phone, which is the Huawei Mate X7. Now, this isn't anything crazy like their XT series, the trifold phones. This is their standard book style phone, and at first glance, it is not that much different from the previous one, the Huawei Mate X6. However, as you look a little bit deeper, you start to realize that Huawei has made a bunch of very key improvement exactly where it counts. Now, I've used the Mate X6 quite a bit and I've already played around with this one, and to me, the biggest improvements here that need to be noted are first, improved performance, very much needed. Then, even better camera system, and improved durability. So now let's start with the performance. And unfortunately, I cannot tell you that much yet because I'm still to install all my benchmarks here, my demanding games, so it can test the performance. But we do know it has the newest Kirin chipset, which is the 9030, which is supposed to be an improvement over the previous gen chiplet, which was the 9020 that was running on the X6. I've seen some very early benchmarks and they indicate an improvement of around 33%, which if true, will be great by the way. It's gonna be awesome, but still, just don't quote me on that just yet. Now, note that the Mate X6 was not durable, but this one is more durable in a bunch of ways. Now, first, they have their new Kunlun glass here on the front, which is basically Huawei's version of the Corning Gorilla Glass technology. So it's way stronger here, way tougher, and not as easy to crack. The internal screen is also more rigid. They have an improved structure inside that designed to support the internal screen. So now it's supposed to be more resistant to impact, one, and two, it's more resistant to bending. So all around, it's got a bit tougher. But the cherry on top of that is they have official IP certification. So it's rated for IP58 and IP59, which means this is actually one of the very first foldables that has some sort of official dust resistant certification. And we know dust is the bane of foldable phones. So it's great to know that these guys are now starting to get official rating, which means this is pretty much as durable and as reliable as your standard flagship out there. Now, when you look at most foldable phones out there, there's some sort of a camera compromise on them due to cost reasons, due to weight reasons, due to thickness reasons. But Huawei has always wanted the X series to have like a flagship camera, and it's doubly true here on the Mate X7. They have an improved main camera, an improved telephoto camera, the bigger sensors on here. And of course, I had the opportunity to take a lot of very cool photos here in Dubai. So take a look at them. Like the environment was very conducive to take awesome looking pictures. But don't worry, we'll soon put it through our camera benchmark, PhoneArena camera score, and we'll know pretty much objectively just how well the camera performance. So aside from the improved performance, the durability, and the camera, there are also other notable improvements here. For example, the battery is much bigger. Now, first, this is not the thinnest foldable. They haven't tried to make the thinnest foldable like Samsung or like Oppo or like Honor, who are all going for thicknesses below 9 millimeters. So this one has gotten thinner from the previous one, which was 9.9 millimeters. This is 9.5 millimeter, but the battery inside has grown from 5110 milliamp hours to 5600 milliamp hour, which is a great improvement. Aside from that, there is Bluetooth 6 on here, Wi-Fi 7, and even the screens have gotten ever so slightly bigger and brighter, both of them. So in the internal screen now can go up to 2500 nits, and the cover display goes up to 3000 nits. Now, of course, the usual caveat with Huawei phones is there are software limitations on here. Namely, you don't get your Google services, which is bad, but if you know a little bit about your software, it's still very much possible to have Google services and Google accounts sync with this device. It is not that hard, but it requires a little bit of a workaround. And so I think even though Samsung doesn't need to be worried just yet about that, you gotta ask yourself, if you're Samsung, you gotta ask yourself, man, what happens if all of a sudden Huawei can once again do business with American companies? They're no longer on the ban list. What happens then? What happens to your leadership on the foldable market? Because that's a very tough question, because the Huawei Mate X7 is such a well-rounded phone and so capable and has such a high-powered camera system on here that, you should be a little bit scared. But if you're interested into foldables, guys, check out my latest video about my long-term experience with the Galaxy Fold 7. There's some very interesting findings on there. And if you don't want to miss any of these videos, just make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when we publish new content, which is very, very often. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.